Today we're checking out the Panasonic Lumix DMC-ZS5. It's a 12x optical zoom, 12 megapixel manual control beast. We had mixed feelings about this camera because it's designed for point and shooters, yet it has a full arsenal of manual controls. It has a shutter speed that dips down to 60 seconds. It also has aperture control, full ISO, exposure, and we found that in order to get the best out of this camera, in order to get the most, the juicy bits from this camera, you need to kind of know what you're doing, and you need to shoot in manual mode, because most of the scene presets will only get you so far. The camera will want to boost the ISO, and it'll also want to use the flash whenever it can. We love the OIS. The OIS performed exceptionally on this camera. I mean, we shot out of a car with our hand dancing all over the place, and the picture was relatively shake-free. The Lumix DMC-ZS5 does not have the AVCHD light, which the Lumix DMC-ZS7 has. Instead, it has motion JPEG, which is really not as impressive. You could check out our video samples. In bright light, it's not bad, but in low light, the quality, it can't do low light in video. And in still mode, a lot of scenarios where you opt not to shoot with a flash, the exposure will look one way. It'll look bright enough and well exposed on the LCD, but when you actually take the picture, it will look a lot more underexposed than it really is. And that's something we've seen throughout the years with these Lumix cameras. The design is pretty straightforward. It's actually a bigger, kind of chunkier camera. It's probably so they could house the zoom. And the menu system hasn't really changed over the generations of Lumix cameras. We did run into a firmware bug, and that was the fact that we couldn't power off the camera or switch to a different shooting mode. No matter what we did, we actually had to take the battery out and refresh the camera. But it only happened once, so keep your fingers crossed. Overall, the Lumix DMC-ZS5 was comfortable to shoot with, it was easy to shoot with, and we loved the pinhole modes and the film grain, the high dynamic, which was neat because you could select a specified art mode that saturated colors and desaturated other parts of the picture. As far as image quality, when we shot in manual mode, when we shot in lower ISOs, this camera produced, for a camera with a 1/2.33 inch sensor, this camera actually produced some impressive images. But at night, we really had to, the only way to expose something at night with this camera is really play with that shutter speed. If you're looking for a camera that's saturated with manual controls and operates best in manual mode, then the Panasonic Lumix DMC-ZS5 is probably the best option for you. For InfoSyncWorld.com, I'm Mike Broman.